What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So in this video, we're going to talk a bit about patch 925, and there's a couple of things that Blizzard has given us updates on, like developer notes, but we're not really sure about like the specifics and everything. Like nothing is concluded until it's pretty much confirmed by Blizzard. Like this is how it's going to happen, because a lot of the stuff is just discovered on the PTR, and it's subject to change, right? So before we start with the video, I do want to mention that you guys can still get the 0 to 10 million gold guide. And by using the code Shadowlands, you will get it for 50% off. This is a book that I made over 1.5 years ago, and I've been constantly updating it since. So that means that whenever a new patch comes out, or a new expansion even, I will update that book, and everyone that has bought the book receives every single future updates for free. So it's super easy to follow along, step-by-step basis, and it's going to teach you how I've made hundreds of millions of gold. So the link to that is down below. Now, the first thing I want to talk about in this video is not something that I would normally talk about, but it's like just general 925 news, right? I think a lot of them are interesting. The first one being Renown catch-up, because Blizzard is fully aware that now that we're going towards the end of the expansion, it's kind of devastating starting a new out or being a returning player and you have to catch up on Renown and everything. So luckily, they are helping us with that. You can now get up to 60 Renown by using the broker, like the broker mark of distinction. It was 40 in the past. And then to go from 60 to 80, they've made it way easier. Like, you will now have a 100% chance to gain 1 Renown for each Mythic or Mythic Plus dungeon that you do, and even for each Torghast layer, so you could literally just spam Torghast and get Renown levels. But also by defeating Shadowlands bosses, or even winning rated battlegrounds. So it's going to be way easier to catch up to max Renown in the 925. One thing that is way more interesting, though, is cross-faction playing. Like, we all knew that was going to come, like Alliance being able to play with the Horde. I don't think we're quite there yet, like how I would like to see it. But like right now, as far as I'm concerned, and correct me if I'm wrong, you can group up with people of the opposite faction and you will face onto each other's realms as long as you're in an instance. However, it turns out you can also trade with the opposite faction. This is taken from Wowhead from Samadan's weekly economy wrap-up, where they've tested out and you can actually trade. If you're an alliance, you can trade with the Horde. The trade goes through and all of that. One thing that I really want to see and that I hope that Blizzard will enable is for Horde and Alliance to be able to group up in the open world. Like, if your friend wanted to play Alliance, but you want to play a Horde and you want to level together, you can't do that in the open world. Unless I'm mistaken, but like that was the information that was dealt to us in the beginning, right? And it's the same thing for gold farming. Like, you guys know I mainly do gold farming, and there's so many people that watches my live stream and they really want to farm with me, but I play Alliance, they play a Horde, they don't have a tune, so they can't join us in all of the 5-man farms that we do, or 2x4 farms. So I think it's definitely a step in the right direction to allow Horde and Alliance to do dungeons together, battlegrounds, like all of that. But I really think we should be able to do open world together as well. There was like there's a couple of dungeons in WoW that you can't do together with Horde and Alliance together, like ICC or a Trial of the Crusade, because there's different dungeons, different mechanics and stuff happening if you're depending on if you're Horde or Alliance, and that would probably be tough to fix, right? And destroy the lore and whatnot. Like, I get it, but in the open world, let us kill water elementals together, right? We want to make gold together, so that would be really badass if Blizzard could fix that. I'm not sure if they have it in mind, like if that's the plan to allow us to do that. But as far as I'm concerned, we can only get faced and see each other as long as we are like actually in an instance, right? If that's a dungeon or if that's a raid. The next thing up, I was already talking about it with the items and rewards, like the Renown catch-up. There's a couple of class changes and so on, like some new quests for Blood Elves to get new mounts and so on. But like for this channel and me, I don't have any interest in that personally, so we're going to skip that part. I do think it is worth mentioning this though. This is actually really cool. The creation catalyst. You guys have probably seen some videos or seen it on Twitter already. If you haven't, this is actually great because as most people are concerned, like the tier set, like the 4 set bonus from 9.2 is OP. Everyone wants the 4 set bonus, but it's super hard to get. There's people doing like mythics and raiding like constantly, and they're still in like 1 out of 4 pieces. Now in 9.5, you can take those pieces to the creation catalyst and you can turn them into a tier piece. So let me explain. Like, you go into the creation catalyst and you throw in an item. Now, that item has to be either a Season 3 item from Mythic Plus, or a rated PvP item, or it has to be from the new raid. As long as it is that, if you want like tier gloves, you just throw in your gloves, let's say your Season 3 gloves, your rated PvP gloves, and you can turn those into like a set item, right? So that is really cool. Like, I really wanted like the set items, but I just do gold farming. But now it's going to be way easier for everyone to actually get the 4 set bonus. So that's going to be badass. I'm definitely going to look into that. Now, for gold making, though, there's one change worth mentioning in this video, and that was found by Mr. GM. He posted on Twitter. It's also on Icy Veins on the forums, and that is the fact that you can actually purchase like a Prog Essentia from a vendor for like Anima or Anima. I'm not sure how to pronounce it even, but you can purchase one of these bad boys right here. As you can see, it's from the vendor in Oribus. And he will sell you the Prog Essentia for 25,000 Anima. I still think that the amount of currency you got to pay for a Prog Essentia is slightly too high. But this is luckily subject to change, right? Because I was in the position where I had way too much Anima. I've been in that position many times. So I just spent it on cosmetic items and mounts and whatnot, even though I don't really collect that kind of stuff, just to get rid of it, because it was just laying around there, right? And then I was using it for the catch-up gear on my alts, but that gear it's okay. It can proc with plus speed, so you can build like speed sets tuned with it. But I would, like, if this was in the game earlier, I would obviously purchase the Prog Essentia for it. So, but I still think 25k Anima is too much, because the Prog Essentia is like, what, 5,000 to 6,000 gold on most realms. And there's not a lot of people having hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of Anima, like, to make some serious gold out of it. But I wanted to mention it because I know there's a lot of you guys who have a lot of Anima laying around and you're not really using it. And if you need gold, might as well just grab the Prog Essentia of this vendor and put it on the auction house. But it's going to be more supply, though, to the auction house, so naturally prices will probably fall. I don't think this change, if they leave it up for 25k, I don't think it's going to impact the price on the Prog Essentia drastically, because it's a lot of Anima in order to grab it. So that is pretty cool. And then also we have another picture right here. This is from Des Mephisto, and you can actually purchase them for tokens as well, right? Which is also kind of cool. So there's always people out there who play the game a shit ton, and they have a lot of currency, and they can make a lot of gold with the Prog Essentia. Similar to my Mage Tower video of people running Dragon Souls back to back to back on older tunes, and they have a lot of currency to buy the gem, and they made millions of that. So I'm just hoping that I can hit someone out there who has the option to purchase a lot of this and make a lot of gold. However, though, that was it for today's video. That is what we know so far that I think is worthwhile mentioning. Hopefully there's going to be other cool stuff added to 9.2.5 as well. I really, really hope so. And if you guys got any inputs about anything, feel free to leave it down below. But that's it for today's video. So guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.